Okay, hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Samir Gohil. I'm from GSK. I have responsibility actually for the IT function in the Canadian business for GSK. And I also have the privilege of leading global transformation of our GSK IT function to be more product and agile focused in terms of the ways we work. Today, I'm going to be giving a bit of a talk around how we've led and planned this transformation and what it has meant for our function. Before I get into it, I think I'll start with a little bit about what GSK is about. So we are a global healthcare company. Our vision is to help people do more, feel better, and live longer. And it's a vision and a mission that's very close to my heart and something that's important to me. And our goal as a company is to be one of the world's most innovative, best performing, and trusted healthcare companies. In IT, it is important for us to make sure that we're contributing to this wonderful vision in terms of how we help people around the world. And that's really the purpose of my talk, right? Now, how have we led our department or our function, our global function, in terms of transforming it from a strategy and leadership perspective, from a traditional IT organization into a much more agile and product focused organization. So GSK is a large corporate, and like any large corporate, there is a lot of complexity in the organization. We operate in over 95 countries and have hundreds of thousands of employees across the world. Our products need to serve a massive population of people in a way that's relevant to them. And as a leadership team in IT, we've looked at our function and thought to ourselves, what do we need to shift from in terms of traditional delivery into much more product and focused and agile focused delivery? Because we want to make sure that as the world changes, as ambiguity is prevalent everywhere, we're able to be nimble, respond with really, really great products that all our customers and users around the world love. So today I'm going to talk really about how we've gone about planning and leading this transformation. And I'm going to try and share with you 4 simple steps that will help to make a transformation like this come to life in other areas. So how we've started this is with a really, really simple and clear vision. So before we even begun anything, as a leadership team, we looked at ourselves and said, what are we trying to do? And what are we trying to shift from into? So we wanted to shift from sort of a waterfall scrum delivery into a much more agile delivery. We wanted to make sure that the investments we were making in IT were delivering as much value as possible around the world. And we started with our leaders and asking them, what is the shift they wanted to see? We took it a step further, actually, and this is, I think, really, really important. We ran focus groups with employees in IT across the world, asking them what was working, what was not working, and we got them to sort of say the reasons for change. So they, in their own mind, had a very compelling reason on why they wanted to change. And this then made it into a vision that everybody could get behind, and something that I don't think anyone would argue with, which is by being customer obsessed and evolving our engineering and operating practices, we can deliver far more valuable products to the people we serve far more quickly. And I think when it's that simple and people have said, we want to change because it's not working the way it is today, then you have a really great platform to be able to drive change across an organization at scale. So that was, I think, one of our big points. The second point I would share with you is around creating the right climate. So when you're leading a transformation, in addition to having people comfortable with why you're trying to change, you have to make it easy for them to change. So it all starts with really passionate leaders. I mentioned that we've worked with people across the organization in leadership to make sure that they believe in the change, they see the benefit for their teams, and they're visible in their leadership. So when we started the transformation, leaders went to their teams and said, I am doing this because I believe we can make our work better, more efficient, and we can drive more value. So as part of your development, I am committed to making this transformation happen for my product teams. And that was amazing, because without that foundation, Very difficult to drive a change like this. The second thing is we've made it really comfortable for people to speak up, learn, and try. And my colleague Terry Brown will be giving a talk on psychological safety, where it's about how do we create the climate where it is okay for people to voice their opinion without feeling that it will not be valued or listened to. And again, when people are speaking up, raising the problems, raising the challenges, what's difficult in a shift becomes very easy to make a shift. Uh, the third thing we did here was around making sure we were measuring things that would drive the behavior we want. So an example of that might be we started to measure things like code quality or defect rates. And what that does, just by the simple act of the measurement, is make people figure out how can we change the way we operate to improve the quality of our code that we commit, or to improve the impact of the product that we're delivering. So that was really good. And I think it's a really, really critical thing in terms of if you measure something, the behavior will follow. So that was another thing we did. Thirdly, supporting individual product teams, we've put in above product portfolio processes that demand different behaviors and outputs from product teams. Things like asking, what is the impact of your product and how is it changing or improving over time? So when we measure that or look at that as a leadership team when we're managing our portfolio of products, the product teams need to do something different to be able to show that, which is about demonstrating value and how we're increasing the value of our product by being really close to the customer. So I think those above product team processes were very critical for us. So the organization's sort of operating model demands a different behavior. We've also done things where we've equipped the teams with some clarity in terms of how to operate. So things that were really critical here would be, do you know what it means to be a good product team? And what does a good product team look like, behave like? What does a great engineering team do that a team that's in a more traditional sense doesn't? And we've given them tools like a maturity assessment that helps them self-diagnose. Where am I good? Where do I need to improve? And it's also helped them with being very clear on what we expect, what are the roles and responsibilities. Again, we also use leader-led reinforcement of this, like this is what we expect a good product team to do. And when you put all these complex pieces, and it is a complex organization together, you create this climate where product management can really come to life and agile ways of thinking can really come to life. So that was the second of my two steps: a clear vision, the right climate, and then all of this is good, but without having people have the skills and the capabilities to do this, the transformation would never have worked. And so we have really made a conscious effort to focus on giving people skills and mindset to be able to do this. So things like the customer at the center is about how do we create the time and space for our teams to be able to learn, experiment, and try new ways of working. So a practical thing we did there was in increment planning, or as we're planning our future sprints, we've actually built in time and space for learning and development so the team can take on new practices. So they actually had permission in the sprint to do it. So that was good. And that's about putting the customer at the center. The second thing we did is we needed to make this transformation relevant to the product teams themselves. So we asked leaders of teams and managers of teams to sort of diagnose where are the teams struggling. Perhaps it's with something like backlog grooming or generating great impact metrics to feed to the portfolio. And leaders and their teams self-diagnosed using maturity assessment, challenge areas where they needed help. And we've provided, to make this an enduring part of our fabric, access to experts. So any leader of any product team in GSK can come and say, look, my teams are struggling with something like backlog grooming. And we would bring the experts where this was happening really well, or training if required, so that people can come and learn how to apply it, but it is really relevant to their context and their team. So that really makes things come to life. And the other thing we did here is make it a learning by doing. So we didn't put people in classrooms and say, off you go, but we went into the teams, we observed what they were doing, and we supported them through the work they were already doing. For example, we would put in a coach in a team to sort of work through the ceremonies and the practices of a team, observe, and then do the activity. So example, backlog grooming, we would have a coach do it and show the team, and then we'd let the team do it the next time, and we would follow and support. So they weren't taking on extra learning or a course and then apply, but it was being applied in real life. And so I think this is how you make skills and mindset come to life, right? It's relevant in the daily context. It's something the customer wants. And it's, I guess, the essence of product management as well. This is important to me. I see the value for it. It is solving a pain for me, and I want to learn. And when you do this, some really amazing things happen. And so the three things I've covered: clear strategy, the right climate, the skills, and the time to learn. And the last piece of all this, like when you're doing a transformation at scale, is around what will it feel like if you succeed? And this is about making sure that this is visible. So we are constantly encouraging the telling of stories, the sharing of best practices. Our social media is full of come and learn about how we've built a new product strategy, vision, and roadmap so that you can learn too. So lots of that going on. Again, leader-led and team-led. So leaders and teams will share the successes of their team. And how will I know this transformation succeeded? I think when I start to see on social media the team members themselves in a product team, a developer, a QA tester, a scrum master coming and saying, look at what I have done without being asked to share their story, then we'll know we've done something. And I think the important piece here is every time we tell one of these stories, we talk about our North Star and why we're doing this and why it's important and why the vision is important. So to anchor them back to what they said they wanted to transform and to show them how they are transforming. And this builds a momentum and a success. And I think in any transformation, you can't underpin how important that is. So the most important thing is being really, really clear about the North Star and why we do it. And for us at GSK, it's to help millions of people around the world do more, feel better, and live longer. Thank you.